Merry meet and bright blessings, everybody. Lady Leeanna here for another edition of Wicca for today. Another wonderful show altogether. And with a special guest star.
Hello.
Rodney Swindell.
Hi.
Fellow pagan, student under me for 15 years, best friend. And for this show, co-host. And today, what I really wanted to discuss, because we have so many different shows on the channel now to do with ritual practice. Mm-hmm. I thought we would talk about ritual practice preparation.
Preparation for the practice.
Personal preparation for ritual practice. That means not the temple place, not the altar, or not
the tools.
The tools. That means yourself. Personal preparation. And there are, believe it or not, a lot of preparations that should be made before different rituals. And, you know, some of them vary away, but if you go by what we're talking about here today, then you'll pretty much have it, you know. Generally, your fastings, you would say that they're pretty light as far as your standard ritual goes.
Yes.
You know, basically... Go ahead.
Your fasting is cleansing your body of impurities and abstaining from different things like chemicals, meats, different things that would cause harm to your body, alcohol, smoking, any kind of drugs, possibly, whatever, anything that causes harm for your body.
Self-deprivation from anything that would be unnatural 100%.
And also abstaining from meat.
Red meats, things that block up your colon and
arteries. And
you know, I mean,
that we all love to death, but believe me.
You know, as well as booze and cigarettes, things that you can hear your heart popping every time. Quit. Anyway, okay, there are many different types of preparations that have to be made. You have your cleansing, okay? And that, well, I guess it's all cleansing in a way. Everything that we're going to talk about today is cleansing.
It's a cleansing of the
body.
body.
You have your internal cleansing, and you have your physical external cleansing.
Well as your spiritual cleansing.
And your spiritual cleansing, that's right. Well, okay, first off, your spiritual cleansing could be summed up by the same thing that you would do when you're wanting to get a cleansing in your daily life. And that would be through a spiritualist who wants to put stones around your body, call up the energy, expel it, replacing it with pure white energy, or through hypnosis or a mixture of both. And I actually use both all the time. But that would be your typical spiritual cleansing. And this would only be done like if you're going to go through a dedication or an initiation, some kind of ritual, death, or marriage.
That's a marriage ceremony of some sort.
Whether it's for your other half and hand fasting or to the god and goddess, you know. And basically, you would want to go through a spiritual cleansing for this. And that's through crystals and stones, holy water over the body, sage, hypnosis, if you want to go that route. And it's indeed a more thorough cleansing if your spirit is being astraled to the very gateways of light, you know, because nothing internally dark can exist in the infinite light. And so your hypnosis and astraling to a higher place spiritually, as well as on the physical level, your body being cleansed with holy water and sage before going through a dedication or initiation is preferred, although not a rule, not a law. You know, I mean, it's just good.
It's good. It's, you know, you're going into the situation thoroughly cleansed and everything.
So here we have an elective, which is preferred, by the way, but not a have to. That's the spiritual cleansing, and now we've got that out of the way, you know. And it only really has to be done through or for a marriage ritual or something of that nature, or a spiritual death and rebirth, whenever it deals with direct contact with your God and Goddess.
Yes.
On any level.
Yes.
I mean, then, and I mean the most direct contact. Okay? So your spiritual cleansing is definitely preferred, but not a law. Okay. Now, you have fastings. Fastings are very important and for many purposes, but there's extents and greater extents. You have your year and a day fastings, and that means giving up something for an entire year and a day so that you can achieve a goal. In our group, it was 3 years and 3 days per each rank ship. And that's a whole other video right there.
That's another video.
But, a 3 year and a 3 day walk, between dedication to initiation and initiation to whatever rank. And like I said, we'll go into that, later on. But, you have your year and a day or your 3 years and 3 days fastings where you give up something for the God and Goddess to dictate to them that you are extremely sincere with what it is that you want to do, correct?
Yes.
I know I initiated you, so I must have called on you to serve for a year and a day to 3 years and 3 days, I believe it was.
Yes.
To give up something. Do you remember what that was?
Yes, it was to give up, believe it or not, television.
Television.
Yes.
And that would be actually a big thing for him, really.
Well, not it was, because as soon as I committed myself to give it up, it was everywhere. It's very hard to miss whenever you're.
Yeah, but your decorator shows were on it, your gardening shows were on it, your home
cooking
decor,
shows,
and
everything. Okay.
all of that, But so I imagine that was a little bit of a task.
That was daunting.
And to acquire, what were you going to say?
But obviously, I did do it. I did give up the television, and I did it for my period, and it was. I was...
And that was to make it from dedicate to initiate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Before I initiated you.
Yes.
Right. And with me, the most recent give up for me was making it from High Priestess to first, then second, actually from first degree to second degree to third degree. There was a giving up of something in all of these pathways. And first, it was meat. Then it was, let me try to remember. This is so long ago. I'm ancient. Anyway, let's see. First, it was meat. Making it from first degree High Priestess and actually there was making it to High Priestess from Priestess. Anyway, the biggest I remember, let me put it that way, is I gave up sex to make it to my third degree priestess stone. The third degree Wiccan High Priestess. I gave up sex, and that was for 3 years and 3 days. But that was quite a bit of a path there, because I had just met somebody and moved them in with me.
It happens. As soon as you figure out what it is.
And I believed he was going to make it all the way with me on that pathway. But on the 6 months before it would be over with, he screwed up. And we were over. There's no second chances with me. But I really thought he was going to make it, But he, so I gave up sex, but I had given up everything else on every other area of my life. And trust me, you don't have to give up something for every rank ship that you obtain.
It's a personal thing.
It's a personal thing. Well, no, in the beginning, in our covenant, I required
Well, I mean,
you to give up
with
something when you're making it from dedicate to initiate. Okay, but then from there, it was pretty clear until you reach the higher rankship. And that would be up to minister, to make it to minister. And trust me, it's very necessary for you to give up something when you're making it from the rank just below minister to minister. You know, and then your minister to high minister, it's okay. You know, you don't have to give up anything there. But then when you're making it from high minister to high priestess.
No, priest.
Or to priest, sorry. When you're making it from high minister to priest or priestess, then there's something for you to give up. You know, so there are little breaks there that you can take whenever you're on your pathway. But the hardest ones are whenever you're in your priestessdom and you're going up through your degrees within your priestessdom. You know, because you have to give up something for every one of those ranks.
Not just any willy-nilly thing. I mean, something that means a lot to you.
Yeah, you can't just give up anything. Oh, I'm going to give up sodas. I mean, you know, because it will be easy for me to do. You know, there's none of that. I mean, if that's what you're doing, if that's the level that you're showing your god or your goddess that you're willing to give, then they're going to say, you know what? Keep it. You know, they want to see you really apply yourself. The thing is this comes from inside. With our group, our covenant, yes, it became laws or rules for us because we wanted it to be so. And our path was hard. I mean, we made it hard for ourselves. But that was of our own desire, our own accord, because we felt that that's what it took to get where you want to be. But it turned out a lot of good pagans. You know, a lot of good people that are still in touch with their spirituality. And yes, we all fall from it periodically. But, you know, really, I don't think that you ever lose touch with it.
It's still there. You just got to pick it back up again and go.
You want a break. You want to.
Sometimes you do want a little bit of a break, but I mean,
it's really drawing into your solitary.
Yeah, you become a lot more solitary in the end.
And you may tire somewhat of ritual at times, and you go about things a different way. Like, okay, you took a break from it. You fell away from paganism for 2 years. You said that, I think, in a video just recently.
Yeah.
But you didn't really lose touch with that. You just simply did things differently, and it was more on a mundane level.
Yeah.
You know, just in passing.
Yeah.
You know, so a little lazily, you know. But even if it were walking outside and playing in your plants, your dirt, you know, you were still in touch with that aspect of yourself.
Yes. And
probably deep down thinking of the god or goddess, right?
Yes. You always think of the god and goddess when they're in your when they come to you, or when you finally reach them. It's always a part of you. I mean, it's not going to go really good. It's not going to go away unless you just absolutely want it to.
All right. So we've talked about your spiritual cleansing, where you're astraled up, and your physical body is cleansed below while you're being hypnotized or astraled out. Okay. And we've talked about your year and a day pathway, giving up, fasting. You know, where you're giving up one thing that you truly care about.
Yes.
Okay, but, alright, let's talk about your run-of-the-mill everyday rituals where you're doing spell works. Generally, you don't do a lot of fastings. You know, when you're going into a circle to create a talisman or engrave a candle or charge a charm or whatever, you're not really doing a lot of fasting there. Although, you know, it really would help if you do go out and become at one with nature for a little while just before.
That doesn't hurt at all.
Right. you're not doing a lot of fasting to just go into a regular run-of-the-mill circle or a celebration with a lot of other pagans where you're not doing a lot of hard-hitting work. But there is a lot of fastings that you do when you're either going through your dedication, your initiation, hen fastings, dying away in any way to be reborn. Not physically dying out, but dying away from or dying in a ritual death to be reborn. Any of these rituals like this, where they're personally involved, when you're elevating to another plane of existence, even though it's in this world, there are some heavy fastings that you would do to actually fulfill this task and leading up to this task. Alright, and those would include, and you can, talk about some of the things that I put you guys through whenever I was getting ready to take you through yours.
For my initiation, but for pretty much everybody's initiation, it was a fasting, of abstaining from meat and sodas and whatnot for 3 days.
And alcohol.
And alcohol, yes. Only water and water and vegetables, and on the day, and there was only water allowed for the day until the initiation. And
which would usually be done in the morning so that you aren't starving to death
by the end of the evening. Yes.
Yeah.
But it's something. When you're going through, if it's something you truly feel you want, you'll do it. It's just because for the love of the God and Goddess, for the it's not only that, it's abstaining from the other creatures of the earth. I know this might sound silly, and it is with as opposed to eating meats and whatnot. You're for those few days you aren't taking from the earth as much from the earth herself, and
to give her a chance to rejuvenate
and replenish
and regrow
whatever she needs to do.
Right.
It's
a giving of yourself. Ultimately,
it's giving of yourself back to the earth and the God and Goddess, which
and basically coming in clean.
You're coming in literally clean.
Eating meat, the animals that would come around you in nature would smell that.
Yes.
And they wouldn't come around you.
They would not. Yes.
You can't exactly be at one with nature when the nature is afraid of you.
Yes.
And so basically, this was our belief system. It doesn't hold for everybody's. Everybody's path is not as hard as what ours was, but it was ethical. There is method to our madness.
Yes, there is. There really is.
Basically, we laid out that on the 3 days leading up to your dedication, your initiation, your hand fasting, where you're coming together and joining with another, or when you are rising up to meet with the God and Goddess for whatever meaning or whatever reason, you would abstain from processed sugars, heavy meats, or any red meats, actually, for that matter, caffeines, tobacco. A lot of times people will just abstain from tobacco for 4 hours because they have a hard time with these addictions. And if you can abstain for at least 4 hours before your ritual, then it's pretty good. We were pretty severe, but we made it through. We proved to ourselves that we could do it. And it was not only a giving of ourselves to the God and Goddess and to nature, but it was likewise a proof to ourselves that we could control those desires within ourselves and not let those desires control us.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I've quit smoking after 33 years, 3 packs a day, cold turkey, to the point, but, in all reality, these cleansings are necessary on so many different levels. You want to go into your ritual. You want to die the ritual death, and be reborn new, being clean from the inside, so that you could feel the blood of life flowing through you and the air.
In the earth.
You know,
through the warmth of the sun, the cool of the moon, of water.
You know, it's being at one with all of it. You want to feel that you're so cleansed that a deer would walk up to you, you know, and be at one with you for just a while. Or at least Cornunus, you know, or Diana Stag. I mean, in all reality, it's very important for you foremost to feel at one with yourself.
Yes.
And if you're not doing anything to give up anything, you don't feel like you've really done anything. I mean, you went into a circle, blasey, you know. And these rituals, they were to prove not only to the god and goddess that you were willing
to give up something for them and the earth, that you're, I don't know, I guess in a word that you're worthy, maybe.
That you want to be worthy.
That you want to be worthy.
Because you are worthy. I mean,
yeah.
But you've got to show that you want to be worthy. You know?
Yes.
And really, I mean, in all spirituality, if you look down every pathway, something is given up to attain something.
Yes.
And, I mean, look at Jesus Christ within Christianity. He went up on the mount for 40 days and 40 nights and fasted. You know. So even in Christianity, I mean, every religion requires that to some degree you fast to obtain something, I believe. And I'm only speaking from my perspective, but
even in I believe it's Catholicism, they've got the Lent, which is where they give up something for the 40 days and 40 nights.
You also have your extremely deep rituals. Now, not talking about your run-of-the-mill rituals. I mean, you're setting up to do just a standard spell work, because you don't really have to do a lot of fasting there, and a lot of people don't.
That's just true.
You know. Like if you're setting up for spell work, or you're just taking tea with the god or goddess, or giving praise, or if you're going to a celebration. I mean, there's not really a lot of fasting that you have to do with that. But when you are going through your dedication, your initiation, a hand fasting,
wedding ceremony.
You know, well, hand fasting is a wedding
I know, but
ceremony.
somebody's not going to know, so that's why.
Okay, well, that's true. A lot of people don't know that a hand fasting is a wedding ceremony. But you are going to go through some fastings with us. And these are pretty deep. I mean, aside of your year and a day, they would be your second harshest fastings.
Right.
And, you know, basically that would consist of, 3 days before the ritual, leaving off with the alcohol, the cigarettes, the meat, any chemicals whatsoever. On the second day, you would leave off with the processed sugars, the chocolates, the energy drinks, and things of that nature.
Yes.
And then on your last day, you would watch out for your fructoses, and you would hold to mainly a light salad with nothing on it, and then water perhaps. And that's it. It's pretty heavy, but it's not as bad as what one would think, because you do the rituals pretty much early in the day, at least we did, and so it wasn't as complicated as what it would seem. Anyway, did you enjoy making this episode?
I did. I really enjoyed it. I just hope everyone's going to benefit from it and take what they want from it and get what they need.
Well, that's the whole thing, isn't it? I mean, on here, and I always teach that you take from things what you can and you leave what you won't.
Exactly.
Everybody is different, and I feel that it gives people a little bit of guidance. They may not go about things in exactly the same way that we're saying.
Right.
But they know what people that are actually involved or have been very heavily deep involved with the rituals would do within these cases. And that gives them a bit of a blueprint. And, you know, they can shorten them or lengthen them, whichever way or direction, to make it benefit them or suit them. But, you know, basically a conveyance that it has to be important to you. It has to carry your faith. It has to mean something for you to get anything out of it. For you to be where you want to be.
Exactly. Definitely.
You know. But either way, my heart is with you and everything that you do. And along your path, I wish you the blessed of light and strength of the Almighty's. Alright? You take care of yourself and merry part.
Blessed be.